Hello and welcome to Witness. I'm Raghi Omar. Today we return to Nablus in Palestine's West Bank, where we've been following life in two schools struggling to maintain the Palestinian tradition of education in the face of restrictions imposed by the Israeli occupation. It's an attitude summed up by one of the teachers who describes education as our weapon to fight the occupation. Today, our students are approaching Tawjihi, their final school exams which will determine whether they have a future in university or not. In Palestine, Tawjihi is a major public event with the results being announced on the radio. For the individual students in our two schools, it is a fundamental rite of passage, opening up the possibility of a route out of Nablus, even emigration. And they will eventually have to choose their goal, to build a new life away from the constraints of occupation or stay and help rebuild the country of their birth. Here's Tom Evans's Two Schools in Nablus. Nablus city lies in the heart of the West Bank. It often hits the headlines with its resistance to the Israeli occupation. The Israelis try to maintain a high level of control. The Nablusians struggle for freedom. But for the next 4 weeks, media attention is turned to education. So important is education in Palestinian society that the annual final year exams are a big news story. Zed Makboul is 18 and is a King Talal student about to take his final year exams. The exams are called Tawjihi, meaning path to the future. They are the exams school leavers must pass if they want to go on to university.
In fact, I can't study only in while I'm walking. If I sit down, I sometimes get bored and sleep.
Over a 20-day period, students are tested in everything they've learnt in the last 12 years.
I have an exam in 9 subjects. A few subjects that I'm afraid of. First of them, maybe the math. The math is to sit down and calculate. I hate that.
For those lucky enough to pass, they will face a difficult decision of whether to stay in Nablus in the West Bank or to study abroad in the Arab world or beyond. Two of King Talal's more colourful students are Tariq and Mahmoud. Both final year Tawjihi students who will be sitting their exams. Today, they've come into King Talal School to look over their past papers from throughout the year, their best indications as to how they will fare in the upcoming exams. It was a bumpy start to the year for Tariq, who almost got expelled. But Tariq has since turned over a new leaf, a born-again student devoted to his studies.
هنا اتحرك اليمين يعني شو اثر ذلك؟ لكن هذا الطالب ظهر عليه استعداد حتى حضوره للمدرسة أصبح يأتي باكرا من الساعة 6:30. إذن إحنا بنشكر هذا الطالب على هذا التوجه اللي بدر عليه.
غسان 47.
Mahmoud, on the other hand, remains somewhat relaxed about the most important time in his academic life. This time last year, Nablus was much more chaotic. The Palestinian police weren't free to operate under the Israeli army, and the state of lawlessness negatively affected the Tawjihi exams.
وكم تعرض هذا التعليم أيضا للتدمير وللتجهيل الممنهج والمبرمج من سنة 67 وهم يجهلون أبناء الضفة الغربية، وبالتالي دخلت التوجيهي ضمن بعض الفوضى والإشكالية برغم حرص الجميع.
This year, the police are under great pressure to guarantee security.
لتغطية الحراسة خارج قاعات التوجيهي، غير الجولات اليومية التي سيقوم بها مدير شرطة محافظة نابلس شخصياً، ويومياً يكون فريق من الضباط أيضاً غير مدير الشرطة يقومون بجولة تفقدية وميدانية على التوجيهي.
Masar Said, a student at Haja Rushda Girls' School, has faced a tough academic year. Her brother Marwan was imprisoned by the Israeli army, and she was the only family member allowed to visit him.
هاي السنة كنت مضطرة إنه يعني بدون شرح المعلمات لأنه مش مسؤوليتهم إنهم يعيدوا، أضطر أنقل المواد من البنات وأنا أفهمهم أو أجيب حد يفهمني إياهم، فأكيد أثر.
Masar is a bright student, but her grades suffered dramatically. Now she faces the pressure of redeeming her year and achieving the top marks her family expects.
ضغط كبير. ضغط أول إشي كمان ضغط إنه بفكر بالمعدل، بدي نتيجة، ما أخذلش أهلي، ما أخذلش معلمات، بما إنه التركيز الأكبر علي إنه أجيب معدل.
It's the nights before the big day. All across Nablus and Palestine, tens of thousands of nervous students are desperately doing their last-minute revision. Tomorrow is the start of the Tawjihi exams, the most important time in a young Palestinian's life. It's 8 o'clock in the morning and the nervousness is clear. All Masar can do now is take one last look over her notes. Tarek, on the other hand, goes for a different approach.
بس أنا خايف هلا مراجعتي هلا إلى تنسيني إياها، بديش أدرس.
هاي نص ساعة.
طيب تنسى كل شيء.
كلمتين فيها.
تنسى كل شيء.
يعني على قليل يعني بتيجي يعني بيجوا هيك زي مدرجات ورا بعض.
Today is just the beginning for the 76,000 Palestinian students starting their exams. Over the next 20 days, they will take exams in up to 9 different subjects. If a student fails just one exam, they will fail their Tawjihi. As part of the added security, the Director of Education has been joined by the Governor of Nablus to make a tour of the schools. In previous years, accusations have been made that Israeli troops and road closures have been strategically placed to disrupt the exams. On average, only 52% of students pass their Tawjihi every year. For those who do pass, they are in direct competition and are battling for places at the top universities. The long tradition of the Tawjihi, with such high stakes and the public announcements of the results, has ensured that the exams are a highlight of Palestinian society.
أكيد يعني أنا كنت بتمنى إنه يكون أول امتحان يعني منيح أدي منيح عشان يعطيني دفعة لبقية الامتحانات. ولا هلا ناوية إنه خلص إذا هيك الامتحانات إذا هذا الامتحان هيك أكيد الامتحانات إن شاء الله الثانية تكون أحسن. الحمد لله. يا الله شو مبسوطة.
With the first exam down, the students can now relax into the rest of the exam period. Asma Maqbool is a teacher at the Haja Rushda school. For students like her son Zed, the dream is to go to university.
I am planning to study law, yes. And the second, maybe I want to study English. And if I don't have a chance to lawyer or English, I will study sport.
But university is expensive, and with 2 children already at university, Zed's parents are worried about the tuition costs.
We have to pay 3,000 GDs for both of them. This is about $5,000 each semester.
Zed, like so many young people, holds hopes of studying abroad.
I'm thinking for many things. Maybe go outside to Jordan, maybe Spain. I like Spain. I often, when on the internet cafe, I open to see Spain. Maybe it seems a beautiful country.
But the economic reality means that this isn't possible.
If Zed wants to go outside Palestine, it will be very, very expensive for us.
But for now, it's time for English revision with Mum.
This is the basket of English.
Masa is also having an English lesson. English is one of the subjects she has been struggling with, and her parents have decided to pay for some additional lessons to help her dream of becoming a journalist.
وإن شاء الله بصير صحفية هيك مشهورة، وحابة كمان أشتغل في مجال الكتابة. إنه هون بفلسطين برضه عندنا رقابة على الإعلام بشكل عام، بس بما إنه ظروف الاحتلال الظروف الاقتصادية بتفرض على البني آدم إنه يدور على لقمة عيشه، إنه يطلع برا على أساس إنه يكون دخل، لأنه الإنسان الفلسطيني بتهيألي لو عاش بأرض فلسطين ولو الناس تعرف كيف وضعنا إحنا، ولا إنسان رح يبني حياته. أنا انولدت فلسطين على أرض نابلس، ورح أدرس مش بس فلسطين، رح أدرس بنابلس.
Masa is adamant that she wants to remain in Nablus, but not everyone is so certain. It is estimated that 1 in 3 Palestinians want to emigrate, and tens of thousands do so every year. Join me after the break as the anxiety builds while the students await their results.